Have you ever noticed just how many English words starting with the letter N are negative? Like, that's way too many to just be a coincidence, right? It's almost like the letter N has an inherent negative quality. Why? Well, over 1,000 years ago, back in Old English, we had this word ne, which meant not. But it wasn't just for negating verbs. No, you could put it before pretty much any word to negate it. And once you start thinking about it, you start seeing it everywhere. Like, where do you think none, neither, and never come from? One, either, and ever. I mean, it's a bit more complicated than that, but you get the idea. Now, sure, that explains words that are native to English, but what about English words that were borrowed from Latin? They also show that the letter N was often negative. And what about other languages, like German, French, Russian, even Sanskrit? They very often will associate the letter N with negativity. It's not a coincidence. You see, all of these languages are part of the same language family, the Indo-European languages. And if we look across all of these languages, we can reconstruct an ancestor term from Proto-Indo-European, ne, which meant not. So the reason so many languages negate with the letter N is because they all descend from this Indo-European term, right? Except, hang on a second, when we look even at unrelated languages, we will often find other negators that also start with the letter N. Can this really be a coincidence? Well, not according to one linguist who suggested over 100 years ago that there truly was something inherently negative about the letter N. His theory was that whenever ancient humans wanted to negate something, they would scrunch up their nose in contempt. He argued that the natural biological reaction of disgust was inherently nasal, and that's why most languages use the letter N for negation. That is a cool theory, but is it true? Well, over 100 years after it was first suggested, researchers finally put it to the test. They looked at dozens of completely unrelated language families to see if they could find any sound to meaning correspondences. That is to say, if they could find any correlations between the sounds in a given language and the meanings behind those sounds. So what were the results? Well, they did have plenty of statistically significant findings, but not when it came to negation. The data suggested that negation isn't strongly associated with any sounds. So when it comes to Indo-European languages, negative words often start with N because of one ancient Indo-European term. But when it comes to other languages, it's just a coincidence.